If there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood, and it be, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, to destroy the moist with the dry, Yahweh will not pardon him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy will smoke against that man, and all the curse that is written in this book shall lie upon him, and Yahweh will blot out his name from under skies, and Yahweh will set him apart to evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that is written in this book of the law. And the generation to come, your children that shall rise up after you, and the foreigner that shall come from a far land, shall say, when they see the plagues of that land, and the sicknesses wherewith Yahweh hath made it sick, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone, and salt, and a burning, that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom, and Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboyim, which Yahweh overthrew in his anger, and in his wrath. Even all the nations shall say, for what reason hath Yahweh done thus to this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they forsook the covenant of Yahweh, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Mithraim, and went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods that they knew not, and that he had not given to them. Therefore the anger of Yahweh was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curse that is written in this book. And Yahweh rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as at this day. The secret things belong to Yahweh our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Devarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 30. And it shall become, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt cause these things to return to thy heart among all the nations whither Yahweh thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return to Yahweh thy God, and shalt obey his voice, according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then Yahweh thy God will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the peoples whither Yahweh thy God hath scattered thee. If any of thy outcasts be in the uttermost parts of the skies, from thence will Yahweh thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee, and Yahweh thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers, and Yahweh thy God will circumcise thy heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love Yahweh thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, that persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh, and do all his commands, which I command thee this day. And Yahweh thy God will make thee plenteous in all the work of thy hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, for good. For Yahweh will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers, if thou shalt obey the voice of Yahweh thy God, to keep his commands and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, if thou turn to Yahweh thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. For this command which I command thee this day, it is not too hard for thee, neither is it far off. It is not in skies, that thou shouldst say, who shall go up for us to skies, and bring it to us, and make us to hear it, that we may do it? Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldst say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it to us, and make us to hear it, that we may do it? But the word is very near to thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil, in that I command thee this day to love Yahweh thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commands and his statutes and his ordinances, that thou mayest live and multiply, and that Yahweh thy God may bless thee in the land whither thou goest in to possess it. But if thy heart turn away, and thou wilt not hear, but shalt be drawn away, and worship other gods, and serve them, I denounce to you this day that ye shall surely perish. Ye shall not prolong your days in the land whither thou passest over the Jordan to go in to possess it. I call skies and earth to witness against you this day, that I have set before thee life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life, that thou mayest live, thou and thy seed, to love Yahweh thy God, to obey his voice, and to cleave to him. For he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which Yahweh swore an oath to thy fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, to give them. And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yisrael.